Yeah, so in this video we shall look into how we are going to use PLL to select the desired clock frequency. So basically we are going to see one of the applications of the PLL is frequency multiplier. So here we are going to see how we are going to use the PLL as a frequency multiplier, so that the output clock frequency that we get it is a multiplication of the sum input clock frequency. And we are not going to look into the details of the working of the PLL. So basically we require some registers. So how we configure the registers, what is the multiplier value, what is the divider value that we put into the specific bits of the registers, so that actually we get the desired clock frequency. That is what actually we shall look into it. Okay, so first one, of course, what has been written here. So this is just a basic block diagram. So here what we are going to look into is, this is the frequency of the crystal oscillator. The crystal oscillator, what we have, it is basically built inside the board itself. So of course we can have some external clock source also, and this is what we call is FOSC, that is frequency of the oscillator. So for our case actually we shall take the crystal oscillator itself. That is what we do it in the lab. So here actually the range that we can have is 10 to of course 10 to 25 megahertz. So 10 to 25 megahertz that we can have it here, but of course the board that we have in our lab, so that it has the crystal oscillator frequency is 12 megahertz. So this is what we'll take it actually for our calculation purpose also, so later on. And this frequency of the current control oscillator, so that varies from 156 to, if I'm not 156 megahertz to 320 megahertz. Okay, so 156 megahertz to 320 megahertz, that is the frequency of the current controlled oscillator. This is frequency of the oscillator, this is frequency of the current controlled oscillator, and this is the processor clock frequency. That is a desired frequency that we want it. So of course this is the PLL, that is, there are two PLLs in LPCT148 microcontroller, that is PLL0 and the PLL1. So PLL0 that we basically use for the processor clock. If we need the USB clock, then we use for the PLL1. So we are sufficient with this PLL0. So we just used one PLL of the LPCT148, that is PLL0. So PLL is phase lock loop. The full form of PLL is phase lock loop. We will not worry how that locking range or the capture range and all those things, that we are not worried. So we just have to see how to configure the registers. So here in this one, so the design frequency of the processor clock, as we said, the PLL works as a frequency multiplier. So that what we can get is the desired clock frequency is 10 to 60 megahertz. So 10 to 60 megahertz that we can have it here. So 10 to 60 megahertz. So as you can see here, it's a frequency multiplication. So frequency of the current control oscillator with the frequency of the current control oscillator, the input frequency is multiplied to the desired range here. So this we can see the ARM peripheral bus clock. That is what we say PCLK, the peripheral clock. So this is APP divider. So APP divider is used to divide this processor clock to specified value in order to get the ARM peripheral bus. But for our case actually, see, we know that actually the peripheral devices like the UART or the some ADC or the DAC, they ADC and the DAC, specifically the ADC, if I have to operate, so ADC is one of the peripheral devices that you have. So if I have to operate the ADC, if I am getting, say for example 12 megahertz, or multiplied by 5, the 5 value, if I choose it, so the required value that you get is 60 megahertz. This 60 megahertz that you get is very huge for the peripheral devices. So your ADC will not operate at that huge frequency, so that has to be curtailed down. So how much division that you do it, if 60, if I do it by 4, then that is what is APP divider. So if you divide by 4, then the peripheral clock or the ARM peripheral bus clock that you get is 15 megahertz. Okay, so 15 megahertz you get it here. So for that purpose actually I have written here APP divider register, but for our application timer application, we don't actually divide it. That is what you have to note down, we don't divide it. So the ARM peripheral bus clock is same as the processor clock for timer. For timer actually it is sufficient actually. This clock frequency is sufficient, the processor clock frequency we shall, because if we divide 50 megahertz we need to wait for a longer period of time. So for it is not required, let us operate at the higher clock frequency. So 60 megahertz sufficient, so APP clock is same as 60 megahertz. As I said here, so there are something configuration that you have to do it for the APB divider register. As you can just look into this one, if you have this value APB divided value is 0 0. So if APB divided value is 0 0, as you can see here, it is 1/4 of the processor clock. So if APB divided by default it is 0 0, as we just looked into, maybe in the ADC actually this peripheral processor clock was divided by 4 and then we got this one peripheral clock to 15 megahertz. We didn't write any value to the APB divider register, isn't it? So because it is not required, default actually it is 0 only, all the rest of value. So when it is default, we divide the 60 megahertz is divided by 4, we get this one as 15 megahertz. But for our case actually we have to divide. For our case actually timer, since we are writing having this program to configure the timer register, so we require here, that is how much we have, we require the same as the processor clock. So APB bus clock is same as the processor clock. For that, what is the value that I have to put into the 0 to 1 bit of the APB DIV register, that is 0 1. So if I just actually write this one, so what is the value that I have to write here? APB DIV is equal to 0x 0 0 0. I can just look into this one, how much bit is this one, sorry, it is 8-bit register. So 0 and this was 1, 0x01, isn't it? Because 0x01, 01 if I write it, APB clock, that is 0 to 1 bit. So that is what you are going to write here is, sorry, what the APB bus clock will be? APB bus clock is same as the processor clock. In this case actually, if I, of course we will discuss about how we going to set this phi, something like that way, but one thing what you have to note down here is this: APB clock is same as processor clock if your 0 to 1 bit of APB DIV register is 0 1. So if I have to get this 0 1, if I put 0 1 0x01 to the APB DIV register, in this case your APB clock or PCLK, okay, so PCLK is same as CCLK. Okay, so what is CCLK? CCLK is processor clock. Okay, the processor clock. And what is FOSC? Frequency of the crystal oscillator. What is FCCO? Frequency of the current controlled oscillator. We'll just look into this all these things later. Now, so APB divider, so it has to put 0x01 so that APB or PCLK is same as CCLK. This is what you have to understand. Okay. So now we shall look into, there are different registers to configure the PLL. That is what is more important. So what are the different registers that are required to configure the PLL? Now we shall look into that one. The first register that you have is PLL control register. Okay, so PLL control register, it is also an 8-bit control register. As you can see here, the 0th bit is PLL enable. So PLL enable, so that PLL enable, what this PLL enable, whenever actually this PLL enable is 1, whenever this PLL enable is 1, it will activate the PLL. It will activate the PLL, and whenever actually this PLL is 0, it will deactivate. It will deactivate. Similarly, what is this PLLC? PLLC is basically, it is also first bit. Okay, 0th bit, first bit. If whenever this is 1 here, what happens is this, that your oscillator, okay, the clock source for the microcontroller, that will be the PLL as the clock source. Okay, so whenever it is 1, PLL is clock source. Means what is PLL is a clock source? So so PLL is the clock source. Here we just, when we looked into this one, okay, so this whatever that we get it here, this becomes the multiplication, this becomes your clock source. if this is not if it is not connected, means if it should be connected to here, it should be multiplied and connected, then the crystal oscillator directly becomes your clock frequency for the microcontroller. So that is what you mean by connecting. Okay, so here what happens, whenever actual PLC is 1, that PLL frequency, the output frequency that you get it, so that is what is your clock source for the microcontroller. If PLLC is 0, if PLLC is 0, then what is the clock source? Oscillator. Oscillator is clock source. Okay, so hope you got this point. So if it is PLLC is 1, means PLL is clock source. This is what we call PLL connect. Okay, so your clock source for the microcontroller is PLL. That's what you are connecting. Whereas if it is PLLC is 0, then the clock source for the microcontroller is oscillator. This clock source for the microcontroller. That's what I have written here. Okay, so of course your 2 to 7 is reserved bit. And one thing what you have to note down is that this control register, if so two things what you, okay, if whatever the value that I write into the control register, that is controlled by the PLL feed, the PLL feed register. Of course there is some sequence that you have to provide the PLL feed register. It's like a key. If you don't provide any sequence in the PLL feed register, this value will not be taken. Okay, so here what you have to note down here is, so what is the value that I have to write here? If PLL con, so PLL 0 con is equal to 0x, PLL 0 con is equal to 0x. So what do we have here? If I have to activate, so it has to be enabled, then it has to be connected. So this remember this one will activate. Okay, this one will activate, whereas this one will connect. So of course this is reserved, so that's why we'll put zeros here. This is what is about PLL control register. Now what do we have for next register? This is also important. So next register is PLL configuration register. So what is this PLL configuration register? So after actually you activate and then connect, there are some values that you have to put in. I said about that one, right? PLL multiplier and the PLL divider. So that is what we have it here. So this says 0 to 4th bit is your M cell. Of course, what is the value that we have, what we are going to put it, we shall look into it later through the PLL frequency calculation. But right now just to remember that one, the M cell is PLL multiplier value. It supplies the value M in the PLL frequency calculations. Of course, we will look into that PLL frequency calculations later on. So this M cell decides what value you are going to put into the PLL configuration register, so that the output CCLK what you get is multiplication of multiplication of the crystal oscillator frequency. Okay, because there we just looked into this one here. This is multiplication of the crystal oscillator frequency. So what value it is going to multiply, that is decided by this M cell value. So that's why it is called as multiplier select, or we call it as PLL multiplier value. Okay, so this we shall look into this one. Obviously M cell is always M minus 1, that's what we say. We look into that one. Okay, and P cell value what we write is, this is PLL divider value. Okay, it supplies the value of P in the PLL frequency calculations. Okay, so we look into that PLL frequency calculation just after some time we look into it. So but what you have to remember is, M cell supplies the M value in the PLL frequency calculations, P cell supplies the P value in the PLL frequency calculations. M cell supplies the M value in the PLL frequency calculations, P cell bits they select the supply the P value in the PLL frequency calculations. So here M cell is decided by the 0 to 4, basically it is 5 bit. Okay, so you can just observe that one, 0 to 4 means total 32 bits you can, 32 values you can have it, but there is a limitation for that one due to the CPU frequency and all those things. So we'll just actually limit this one to 4 or 5 or 6. Okay, so this is also, you can just observe it is 2 bit. We will just look into this one later on. Now of course the last bit 7 bit is reserved. Okay, so here for the PLL frequency calculations, the M value and the P value, that they are given by the PLL configuration register. Okay, So last one. Okay, this is also I said about that one, PLL feed register. This is important. I mean, important in a sense. Of course, there is some sequence that you have to provide. This sequence, it is like a key here. So first you have to write A, then you have to write FF. It is like a key to unlock PLL configuration register and PLL control register. See, if you don't write this, if you don't give this feed sequence, that is A and the 55, then whatever the value that you put in PLL configuration register or the PLL control register, those values will not be taken. So you can just broadly say it is a key to unlock the values in PLL control and PLL configuration. Okay. So PLL control and the PLL configuration, to unlock those values, we have to provide the sequence, and the sequence is provided that is A and 55. That is the default sequence. We shall not go why specifically A and the 55 is taken. That is not required for our study here. But this is the sequence that you have to provide to unlock. If you don't provide the sequence, then whatever the value that you feed here, that is control register and the configuration register, it will not be considered. Okay. So now we shall look into the PLL frequency calculation. Okay. So PLL frequency calculation. So PLL frequency calculation, this is what the formula for the PLL frequency calculation. As you can see, CCLK means, you can just have written here PLL output frequency, also called as processor clock frequency, and this is M is the PLL multiplier value, and of course you get from the M cell bits in the PLL configuration register as we discussed just now. And what is this P? P is the PLL divider value. There are two, okay, this is OR actually. This is one the calculation, sorry equation, and this is one equation that you have. So CCLK is equal to M into FOSC, and CCLK is equal to FCCO divided by 2 into P. We are not actually deriving these equations, it is not required for us. And so CCLK is equal to M into FOSC, or CCLK is equal to FCCO divided by 2 into P. Now what is the CCLK? Processor clock frequency. FCCO is PLL current controlled oscillator, that is frequency of the current controlled oscillator, frequency of the oscillator, crystal oscillator, PLL multiplier value, PLL divider value. So how do we actually write this one? Whenever actually we have to determine the PLL settings, first one, so let us actually take one example and then do it only. So first let me write it here. So let me actually choose the desired processor operating frequency. Basically actually whenever we are calculating, so what we are calculating? We are calculating the M value and the P value. So what is the M value that we are supplying? What is the P value that we are giving? So basically that is what we are doing here. So if I have to select a proper M value or the P value to get the CCLK. So first I have to choose the desired processor operating clock frequency. Let me actually choose some 60, maximum only 60 megahertz. 60 megahertz, and choose an oscillator frequency. Let me actually choose the default what we have in our board is 12 megahertz. Okay. So 12 megahertz we will have it here, and then we will have it 60 megahertz here. So what is the calculate the value? How do we calculate the value of M? So this is the equation that we have here. As you can see, M is equal to CCLK is equal to M into FOSC. So M is equal to CCLK divided by FOSC. So that is what it has been written here. So M is equal to CCLK divided by FOSC. So what is actually now CCLK is 60 megahertz divided by 12 megahertz. So what do we get here? The value that we get is 60 divided by 12 is M is equal to 5, isn't it? So this M is equal to 5. Just observe here, M cell is equal to M minus 1. So what you have to feed in the M cell bits, actually you have to feed is 4. Got it here? So M is equal to 5 here, because 60 divided by 12 5, and M cell will be 5 minus 1, you get it as 4. So this 4 you have to feed in the PLL configuration register. Okay. So which bits you are going to feed? If I have to get here, you can just observe here 0 to 4. So what should be this 0 to 4? This 0 to 4, now in order to get that 60 megahertz with the oscillator frequency to be 12 megahertz, the value that you have to feed is 4 here. So similarly, actually what is the value that I have to get for the P value? the simple calculations. Okay, so p value, what you have to get here, p value that is actually selected by this equation, CCLK is equal to FCCO by 2 into p. So of course the FCCO, as I said earlier, the range of the frequency is, what did I say, range of the frequency of the FCCO. So let me actually do that calculations. So how do we select the p value? P value should be integer, it should not be the fraction. Okay, so current control oscillator, let me do that one. So there are two ranges, that is 156 megahertz to 320 megahertz, isn't it? So 156 megahertz to 320 megahertz, this is what the frequency range you have it here in the FCCO. So here, so let me do the calculation here. So what do we have here? FCCO divided by 2 into p. So FCCO divided by 2 into p, p how much we have to take it. So what will be the so 2 into p is equal to FCCO divided by CCLK, or FCCO divided by CCLK multiplied by 2, isn't it? So p is equal to FCCO divided by 2 into CCLK. So let me write that one. FCCO divided by 2 into FCCO divided by 2 into CCLK. Okay, so FCCO divided by 2 into CCLK will give me the p value. So if that gives me the p value, for let me take 156 megahertz, the lower range. So for that case, 156 megahertz, 156 divided by 2 into CCLK, how much we got it? 60 megahertz. So 60 megahertz we got it. So FCCO divided by 2 into 60 megahertz. So let me do the calculations. Let me take the calci here. So if I have to get FCCO divided by 2 into 60 megahertz, so let me take 156 megahertz only. So 156 megahertz. So 156 megahertz is into 10 raised to 6. Okay, so let me put it that divided by, okay, 156 megahertz divided by, so what do we have here, 2 into CCLK. CCLK is, that is 60 megahertz, isn't it? So 60 into 10 raised to 6. So if I do this one, what do you get? 1.3. So the minimum value that you have to put, so let's just 1.3. So this, what you have to put, let me take, for first case it is 1.3. Now let me take 320 megahertz. Okay, so let me take 320 megahertz. If I take 320 megahertz, what will be the FCCO is 320. Let me do that one. 320 multiplied by, sorry, 320 multiplied by 10 raised to 6, this divided by 2 into CCLK. So 2 into CCLK, how much you got? 60 megahertz. So 60 megahertz. So what is this value that we get? 2.7. Okay, so 2.7. So if I get 2.7, the next value that I get is, maximum value is 2.7. Okay, so for this range 156 megahertz to 320 megahertz, okay, the chosen value CCLK, and then I get it as 1.3, 2.7. So we'll just look into this table here. If we just look into this table here, the value of the P that has to be put up in the, this is the PCL bits that we just for showing the PLO configuration bits. 5:6 we have to put, if you put 0, 0, then P value will be P1. If I put 0, 1, then P value will be 2. If I put 1, 0, your P value will be 4. If I put 1, 1, your P value will be 8. Now if I have to get, so I can't actually put 1.3 or 2.7. So somewhere I'll just select this one as 2 here. So if I have to get the value of P to be 2, then what is the value that I have to put in the P cell bits? It is 0, 1. Isn't it? So 0, 1 I have to put it here, that is 5 to 6 bits. That is what you have to remember. I have to put in the 5 to 6. Just remember this one, 5 to 6 bits, you have to put 0 and 1. So if I put 0 1, then the p value will be 2. Similarly, you can just see m cell bits also. See y that is given m minus 1, you can just observe here. Whenever actually m cell bits, that is 5 bit, that you have 0 0 0 0 0, what is the value of the m? That is 1. So this 0 indicates it is m minus 1. All the case you can just observe here, this is 1, this is 2 minus 1, this is 2, this is 3 minus 1. That's what you get it here, isn't it? So here, that's what. So for our case, actually, if I have to get 5, what should be the m cell value that I have to put? It is 0 0, sorry 0 1 0 0. 0 1 0 0 should be put in 0 to 4. So what is the value? So let me write here 0 1 0 0. So that 0 1 0 0 is 4 here. So 0 1 0 0 is 4 here. If I put 0 1 0 0, what we get is m cell will be 4 here. So m cell will be 4. When m cell is 4, what is the desired clock frequency that we get? The processor clock frequency, it is 60 megahertz. In order to, the divider value is to choose particular FCCO. You can just do the calculation. If I put 2 here, for this equation, FCCO by 2 into P. Okay. So you will get actually particular FCCO here. Okay. For this, or you can you can select 60 megahertz and then 2 into P, you get particular FCCO, because we have already taken 60 megahertz. So in order to get FCCO, what should be done here? CCLK should be multiplied by 2 into P. So if let me write that one also. If I have to get proper FCCO, your CCLK should be multiplied by 2 into P. So when I do this one, I will get the proper FCCO, so that the PLL gets locked to the desired frequency. That what we can get it at the output frequency. So your frequency will be multiplied by the specified amount of the crystal oscillator frequency, so that we get CCLK as 60 megahertz. So this is what is about the calculation. So what all values you put, just you can note it down here. So for the CCLK, m value should be 4, m value is 5 here, m cell value should be 4, and where you have to put m cell value, that is 0 to 4 bit of the PLL configuration register. And if I put in 5 to 6 bit, that is 0 1. So if I put 0 1, then the value that is selected is P is equal to 2. Okay. So that proper FCCO is selected, and then the PLL gets locked, and then you get the desired frequency. Okay. So this is about the configuring the PLL register. So in the next video, we shall look into the configuring the timer register, so that we get the exact delay, so that whatever the application that we can do it, we can achieve it through the hardware timer, and then the exact delay that we can get it. Okay. Thank you.